What's going on, everybody? It's just Jimmy here today, and to talk to you guys about what happened in the Microsoft press conference. Again, I don't necessarily own an Xbox. Just to, just to put that out there a little bit. But there were some interesting games, of course, like I mentioned before, in terms of third-party games that was being put into, third-party games going cross-platform. There was some interesting games that Xbox did have, but it wasn't as huge just to jump out of my seat, even if I did own an Xbox. That's just me. But the press conference, though, it delivered. It was pretty good. It was really, really good. Just to name one of the things that happened was they had mentioned about this game called Cyberpunk 2077. Now, of course, this isn't a game that's necessarily made only just for Xbox. This is, again, one of the games that's third party. Brand new, no one pretty much heard of it. But it looked pretty promising. But, just like about every single game that was announced at that press conference, they didn't really show a lot of gameplay for it. They just showed CGI. And, again, a lot of the games did just that. So, all in all, they were telling about the story, how it was going sort of more or less in the beginning. And towards the end was a particular character or person that nobody would have thought that would have been in a game like this. And just came out there and stuff like that, wearing shades and everything like that, and pretty much, looking cool and stuff like that. And to come to find out that it was Keanu Reeves, I was looking like, what? The whole internet exploded. Everybody lost their mind. I lost my mind. Everybody over at the E3 lost their mind, because we were like, what? He's in the game like this? And he looks just like him. That's how crazy the graphics have been improving throughout the years. He looked like he was just jumped into the game. It's nuts. It's just like himself, but just jumped into the game. So that was very interesting to hear and see about. I know the biggest whole thing about Xbox was just trying to make sure that you can play games with whoever, whenever, and wherever. And so that was their biggest thing about it. And so with that being said, they were pretty much more or less having some ties with PC. And if you happen to have one of the Xbox Gaming Pass, says you will be able to go ahead and, play a lot of games with using the Xbox Game Pass with your PC. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I applaud them for that, So that's a lot. I know a lot of people PC-wise were very happy about that. So a lot of people can also play it on that day for $1. And of course, eventually after that, then you gotta pay the fee that was the normal fee. So it was pretty cool. Pretty much they were excited for that as well. There are some other games as well, like some other studios like Double Fine Productions coming to Xbox Studios, and one of them being having a game with Psychonauts 2. Never played the first one. Looked pretty interesting, but now of course they're having a second version of this game, and they're also definitely this one also is going to be on PlayStation 4. So, but this is definitely going to be one of the games that's going to be working a lot with Xbox as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. They also mentioned about more or less a new future game console. That part I don't think anybody really knew about, but it was expected, I guess, from them. It's called Project Scarlet. They didn't really show anything in terms of a physical appearance of the system. All they did was just talk about, what it looked like, what it's supposed to do in terms of power and speed and performance. Because, of course, they complaints every now and then about, the game loads too slow. And, I feel lag and everything like that. So now they're trying to kind of fix that. And make it a system that can kind of fix almost just about every single problem that is that. And the first game they're going to have come out alongside with it was, surprise, Halo. Halo Infinite. So they showed off some gameplay with that. No, actually, I lied. Not gameplay. Let me think about it. CGI. They showed off CGI of what's pretty much going on, especially with Master Chief and everything, too. So, yeah. They also showed off new controllers. Looks pretty cool. It's a way, I guess, of you messing around with the controller and fixing it to your fine tuning, such as the analog stick. They have faster, rapid power when it comes to the backside buttons, especially when you play shooting games. So that's quite interesting. And just a lot of games, a lot of games that got a little bit of my interests, like Bleeding Edge. I'm curious about that game. I took a vibe from that game of like a game like, I don't know, Overwatch and a mixture. I wouldn't say of Fortnite a little bit, but a little bit of Overwatch more or less. But it's a 4-on-4 battle match. And it's a combat game. So obviously everybody's going to have different types of weapons and everything like that. So I'm kind of intrigued. This is by Ninja Theory as well. So I haven't had much game from them in a minute. But I'm kind of intrigued by it. I'm looking forward to it. They also have Borderlands 3 coming out, so that's going to be pretty cool. I think that game was actually pretty much expected. Yeah. And they also mentioned and showed from Bandai Namco Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That looks like to me is going to be an RPG game, it looks like, maybe. I don't know how different. I mean, I can't tell you how many games of Dragon Ball Z has been out in my lifetime. Between the Tenkaichi and Budokai, to your Rage and Blast, to your Xenoverse, and to Dragon Ball Fighters. There's been so many games of Dragon Ball I can't even count. So with this one, is it going to be anything different? Slightly. They try to make it slightly different because, we all know the storyline. If you haven't seen Dragon Ball, you've been living on a rock for some time now, I guess, because it's been well known. It's really good, even though story-wise, I mean, it's just, oh, you're strong, cool, beat him up. I mean, they try to add a little bit of some story and some dramatic scenes with it, but at the end of the day, it's just fighting to see, oh, cool, let me get powerful and beat this next enemy up, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So that's kind of almost like what Dragon Ball Z is. But in here, they pretty much shown that basically you have areas that you basically explore with, do a little bit more venturing around and whatnot. So it's not going to just be jumping into scenes to the next scene of, well, okay, you defeat this enemy, cool, and then you just jump along to the same dialogue that's the storyline and then fight another one. Even though they're going to kind of do that similarity, but they're trying to make it more of an open world type thing for you to choose what you're doing. Because, in a sense, even though it says Kakarot, which is Goku, that's basically what it's going to be. It's going to be just about Goku, in a sense. So, more information to give on that game. So, they showed off Gears 5. So, that game looking pretty good. That's going to be released in September 10th, 2019. And everything like that. They showed off Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. So, I know a lot of people who love the versions of Lego Star Wars is going to be really happy about that. They also got Microsoft Flight Simulator, so that's going to be pretty cool. So, such as also to Microsoft Dungeons. That's looking pretty good. Even though roughly it might just be about the same thing as Minecraft. That's about it. A lot of people, myself included, got excited about Phantasy Star Online 2. This game's been out for so many years only over Japan, and they haven't westernized it until now. So that's going to be really cool to play as for the first time. But it's going to be on Xbox. So, yeah. I don't know if it's going to be on PlayStation anytime. Probably, maybe, but I don't know for right now. But so far, again, it's going to be on Xbox. So, yeah. So, that game looking really cool as well. They also showed off a little bit of DLC, more or less, for Forza. With a Lego tie-in. With the fact that you can drive in cars of Legos. Which is pretty cool. I always say it, too, for anything for Xbox. Games like Halo and Forza definitely such a beautiful game. Such a beautiful game. And, to sit up here and have like a DLC like they did in the past, like Hot Wheels and what was it? With Legos just tied in, that's pretty cool. and that's really cool just to be having that as a game for Xbox. Even though, again, I don't own one. But just to name those, because they had literally 60 games that was announced at the E3 for Xbox. So, 14, of course, being from Xbox Game Studios, and 11 of them were like world premieres. So, I know that was big for them, considering the fact that, again, Sony was not there. I felt like they were also doing a little bit of some shots at Sony, though. I mean, it was pretty obvious. It was pretty obvious. They didn't have to make it like, oh yeah, we're, by the way, throwing shots at Sony. No, it was very clear. It was very clear. So I saw that. You can tell me wrong if this was shots at somewhere else, but come on now, it's pretty much towards Sony. But I'm pretty sure Sony ain't worried about it as much, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna come back with something else that's gonna pull everybody else out of their chair too, especially with the system being released or coming out next year in holiday 2020. You already know that Sony's probably gonna be announcing something within, if not the end part of this year, if not the beginning part of next year. So that's gonna be very interesting to see. So, yep. I mean, it's about that time anyway for them to have a new system. So, because both of them roughly came out around the same time, like 2012, 2013. So that's going to be very interesting to see. So I'm excited for that. We'll see what goes along with that. And we go from there. As always, thank you for watching and thank you for listening. It's Just Jimmy here. And I'll see you next time.